What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back again, and we are going to be discussing another movie today, obviously, which you're seeing on your screens, the horror suspense thriller Never Let Go, starring Halle Berry. This movie really was interesting. That's the best way I know how to describe this film. So the entirety of this film is based around Halle Berry's character, uh, which is just Mama, and she is the mother of two twins, Nolan and Samuel, who are out in the middle of nowhere. And when I say nowhere, they are literally, I would say, however many miles away from civilization. They are out in the middle of the forest, they're out in the middle of the woods, and they get up every day at a certain time. They have to tie themselves to these ropes in their home and incite a oath, and I would say almost like a cantation of, hey, we're gonna do this, and if you let go of this rope and you see something and it touches you, then this evil is going to take you over. And that is what Halle Berry's character Mama has instilled into her two boys. And she is very strict. She's very strict. She's very tactful and very to the point, man. And I give her credit for this character because you feel very confused on what exactly is going on with this woman. Like, what did she see? What did she go through? What is making her be this way, not only to her own sons, but to, you know, after there's an incident where one of the brothers hear him say something and he gets hurt, breaks his ankle, and she has to try to fix it, but she has to have them, state this incantation of, did something get in you? And she keeps saying, if they get in you and they come into the house, then they can just take us all out. And Nolan is he asks a lot of questions. He's not sure of anything that his mother's telling him, like, why are we the only ones, and why is there no one else around, and is there any, people out there that is like us, that has survived this so-called apocalypse? And all she states is that, it took over her. It did not take over her. It took over their father and her parents, their grandparents, and she had to save them from this unknowing evil that apparently she's the only one that can see, because she sees glimpses of her husband, she sees glimpses of her mother, and they're in demonic form. They try to trick her and try to get her try to have them go into the house, and it just never works. And what's really crazy is she's the only one that sees it, and then later on you see where Samuel sees it at some point, then Nolan sees it, but you don't know, and it kind of makes you think during the entirety of this film of, is it a mental illness? Is it in her imagination? Is it something that is making her think this way? Or is it an actual threat against humanity? You really don't know throughout the entirety of the movie, because when there's a decision that is made in this film that will get you going, oh my gosh, because they have a dog, and the dog does not get infected, because she keeps saying that only humans can get infected, and she tells stories about times where she was almost infected. And she has a snake tattoo on her back that she got when she was in the city, and that's when things started occurring, and then it happened. So it makes me wonder, is there something that was in the tattoo, in that ink, that made her a certain way and had her gain this ability or illness? We don't know exactly what it was. And also to where she comes to a decision, because they're having to hunt every day, they're having to use literally the resources of the land to survive, from tree bark to squirrels to birds to bird eggs, to anything that is substantial to have fulfillment in, a human body, from water to, all these different things that they're finding, and they're slowly growing crops as well, and the crops are dying, and they don't have no choice other than to come up with a decision of, unfortunately, and I hate to say this because it got me really upset, and I'll be honest, because again, I'm a dog lover, and the decision came of taking out the dog and using him for subsistence, and it was really nasty to even have that brought up. And I give Holly Berry credit for that role, because you could see the emotion of her as a person, as an actress, as a woman, that, oh my god, I gotta take out my dog just so I could feed my kids. And it was really crazy, and Nolan was in tears of like, oh my god. And Samuel was so loyal to his mother that he was not going to question her. And Nolan traps his mother in their greenhouse, and she ends up offering her own self so that way she could save her boys, because she felt like this evil was going to take over her and she was going to go after her kids. And then the kids, they become so sick because of not eating and feeling like they're going to, lose their lives. And Nolan has no choice but to try to find other ways to get food. And Samuel gets tricked by this girl that's looking for her father that they ended up, taking out. And when this happens, you see where Samuel somehow gets infected. Don't explain how, other than seeing some type of, mutated girl, and he gets infected. And then as soon as this happens, you see where he tries to go after his brother and then destroys the house. And Nolan sees his mother again, and it's not his mother. It's this entity that apparently she was explaining to her sons that it can go after you if you're not going to be careful. And he somehow defeats this evil that's almost like a humanoid snake type deal, that he holds on to this apparition of his mother, and holding on to her in this containment, I guess you'd use to make sure that you are cleansed by the house. And by the end of the movie, you have where somehow they both survive between Nolan and Samuel. And I give credit to the kid actors of being able to pull this off. But again, the movie really leaves you on a cliffhanger of, what exactly did I watch? What exactly did I see? Was there a mental illness in the family? Was there really a entity of evil that was trying to take over this family? And why was the house so special, other than these ruins that was on the side of this of the home, of the entryway? And this evil cannot get onto the property other than near the property, but on the house it could not go into. And I'm assuming that the ropes was connected to the foundation of the home, and that's the reason why that they could not do anything, because it was so connected to the home. So again, this movie is very confusing. It's very very diluted, and wanting to know exactly what is going on with this film. But overall, guys, I really don't know how to feel about this film. Again, I like Halle Berry. I think she's a good actress. But again, this movie was very confusing. It was very slow, especially in the first two acts. And again, would I watch this movie again? No. Would I give it a try again? No. Do I recommend this film to people? You can try it out and think your own thoughts on this. If you like it, cool. If not, that's fine as well. But what is your overall thoughts of Never Let Go? Is it a good film, bad film? Have you seen it yet? Either way, let me know your thoughts are about it down in the comments. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And I'll always see you guys on the next one.